Jeremy, you kind of queued it up there. Let's go ahead and talk about this right now. Social Security. For many Americans, it's one of the main sources of retirement income. And according to research by Smart Asset, the average retiree in the U.S. received between 40 and 50% of their total income from that very source, from Social Security. You know, it's never a good idea to have all your eggs in one basket. There's an adage about that. Don't do it. How can you help us spread out our income sources so that people are less dependent on Social Security?
Well, one of the things I think I mentioned this earlier is we have a tool which is a lifetime savings calculator, which it starts with your income goal, and then how much of that do you want or need to replace. I find very few people come into our office and say, you know what, I want to live on half what I'm living on now in retirement. Now that I have an extra 40 hours a week, and I find very few people want to live on less than what they're living on now. Then we consider what you're not going to be spending in retirement. You're not going to be paying taxes anymore. You're not going to be saving for retirement. And then comes the decision with Social Security is, when do I take it? Do I take it at 62? Do I wait till I'm 70? Taking it at 62, you're basically guaranteeing yourself a penalty of about 25%. There's other things to consider too. Is if you retire at 62, you're going to have health insurance costs before your full retirement age. If you wait till 70, you're going to get that 8% increase every year, which sounds great. Some people come in and say, I can't work till 70. And I say, you know what? Nobody's telling you have to work till 70. However, consider the fact that you can get an 8% increase each and every year that you wait on Social Security. And, we're pretty good at what we do, but I can't guarantee you 8% on investments. If I could, I would, probably somebody would be knocking at the door saying, I don't think you can do that, Mr. Baker.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And that's one of the big things with me when I meet with people for Medicare is they always ask, when should I take Social Security? Because one of the questions I ask when I'm meeting with someone doing some fact finding with Medicare is I'll ask, are you taking Social Security? I met with a couple this past week, and they said, no, we're not taking Social Security. So, and the reason why I asked that is, I'm not being nosy, but here's why I asked that question. If you are turning 65, and you are taking Social Security, you will automatically be enrolled. So for me, that's an important question to have answered. The flip side of that is when they say, no, I'm not, and they're signing up for Medicare, a lot of people don't understand this or don't realize this, is your only option for paying for Medicare Part B is quarterly. Because you're not taking Social Security, right? I can't take that monthly draw from Social Security when you're not taking Social Security. So your only option is a quarterly payment. And right now, the monthly is $164.90. So you're looking at about $495 a quarter that you're going to have to write a check to pay for that Social Security. And like you said, Jeremy, it doesn't mean that when you're 65, you have to retire. The big misconception on that Social Security statement is it says full retirement age. I can't tell you the number of people that come in and say, well, I don't want to retire. Well, you don't have to.
Yeah, some people actually do like what they do for a living and don't necessarily want to leave.
I've had a situation last week where the guy says, well, I love what I do. I'm looking to work until 70, but I might want to take my Social Security at full retirement age, 66 and 6 months, and bank that.
Yeah, that's certainly an option. Once you hit full retirement age, you can work and make as much money as you can and not have to, quote unquote, pay back Social Security. If you take Social Security before full retirement age, there's something called the earnings test where they will take $2 for every $1 you make. And what happens is, so let's say I'm 62 when I start taking Social Security, and then I do my taxes at 63, and they realize I made, I don't know, let's say $18,000 more than I should. Well, then I won't get a check from Social Security until that money's been paid back. So it could be 4 to 5 months worth of income that they don't pay you until you reach that threshold. And a lot of people don't understand that either, and that's kind of a kick in the pants, for lack of a better term.
Oh, sure.
When you're expecting money and don't actually receive it.
One of the things that I always enjoy is when we're sitting at these events. Don't get me wrong; these events can be extremely boring, but it's very valuable information in there, right? And one of the things that I like is when you guys talk about, if you, like you said earlier, if you don't want to take your Medicare, but you still need that income, you look at other resources. So maybe you take money from a different source. Maybe it's a investment, an IRA, or a Roth IRA, because it's not reportable income. You can put off that drawing Social Security until maybe from 66 and a half to 70, so you get that extra, $750, maybe $1,000, whatever it is on your particular statement, and draw money from other resources, because maybe you don't need all of that for living expenses. Walk through that and let people know, because I think that is a great way to put off taking Social Security at full retirement age and wait until 70 to maximize your benefit.
Yeah, it's, we do optimization reports, and I guess it was kind of the topic is not having all your eggs in one basket. So at some point you could draw from your retirement funds to supplement your income, and you can delay Social Security and get an 8% increase each and every year, plus the cost of living adjustments. And like you mentioned, it could be as much as a couple $1,000s a month. Not only that, it increases your spousal benefit. So if and when you retire and you have a spouse that may have be entitled to a benefit, which is essentially 50%. Let's say you have a husband and wife, and traditional American families have been like this, especially with people of this generation, where the husband worked, the wife stayed at home and raised the kids. Well, she's entitled to 50% of the spousal benefit. She'll get her own benefit plus an additional benefit, which will basically, it gives the family about 150% of the Social Security income. And if you wait, you get a raise each and every year. And the other thing that affects is the survivor benefit, because once one spouse passes, the other spouse gets the higher of the two. So it could be an extreme difference between what you have at full retirement age, or even between 62 and 70. I know just from doing the math and being at a number of these seminars, it could be as much as about 119% difference between 62 and 70. And a lot of people don't understand that or know they even have that option.
So if you've got questions about how do I take resources other than Social Security, so I'm not keeping all of my eggs in just that Social Security basket, so to speak, reach out to us. Visit us at arhq.com. You can meet with Nolan, Chaz, or Jeremy and go through different ways to supplement that Social Security income to make sure that you're living comfortably through retirement.
It's one of those things where we look at the percentage and kind of reverse the math, and we're talking about what is my number. We have the technology, I guess, is the easy way to say it.
It's like working a maze and going from the back and figuring out where you need to get to. It's one of the, and I want to go ahead and put this out there, the good people at the Social Security office, they are not equipped to give you advice on when to claim your Social Security. They're there to process the paperwork. This is definitely something you want to figure out ahead of time. And it's something the team at America's Retirement Headquarters can help you out with. Make sure you get it right to figure out what's going to work best for you and your household. 419-794-3030, how you start that conversation. Figure out how Social Security is going to work into your retirement plan. 419-794-3030, or the website, arhq.com.